What is going on in the world, every good people? Welcome to the Mad Poet Show. Glad to have you here. Glad to be here. It's going to do some general rocking today. May actually have to stop the stream a little before we're actually done. I hope we get to everything, but started a little later than I had hoped. I did my kitchen stream yesterday, and then spent quite a bit of time when I brought my system back down here to the office, quite a bit of time cleaning up under my desk, which was really covered with dust. And then I had noticed in my playback videos that I was actually slightly off center, this whole system. So now I'm actually kind of lined up on the lights. Everything was shifted over here a little bit and it was bugging me. So I fixed that, kind of had to do some rearranging, and had a lot more setup left today than I realized when I left off last night. So kind of got that finished up. Started a little late. I do have to be done by 7 o'clock because I have a student, and she's awesome. And I always try to. I've been teaching for over 15 years, so there have been a few times I'm like, oh, I was supposed to be on with so and so, and I try not to do that. And so we'll see where this goes. It kind of depends on how much I sit here yakking, stand here yakking, whatever. What am I sitting, standing? I don't even know what I'm doing here. Playing guitar? I no idea. I had pizza for breakfast, so I'm in good shape. Nonetheless, let's keep on rocking here. Wherever you are out there, wherever you're tuning in from, thank you for being here. I hope you're doing well on this awesome Friday, or whatever day it is where you happen to be. I know it's not Friday everywhere in the world, but it is here. This next song is called Have I Forgotten Something? know if you happened to catch the kitchen stream yesterday, but I did say that I would be playing some slide blues guitar in the show today, so I'll probably do that once we get to the next album. I think I'm playing Bucket of Blood after this one. And I played some slide blues last night in the kitchen stream, and that was a lot of fun. It's just a very different style of playing, different way of viewing the fretboard, the guitar in general, and it just sounds so cool. It's such a cool sounding type of music. Totally dig it. Student of mine was doing slide blues once and asked me, I said, at the end of my lessons also, asked me a couple of questions. And so, asked me a couple of questions. He's like, I only got one. Why is slide guitar so cool? And I just said, that's like asking, why does the dragon breathe fire? Why does the tiger roar? It just does. And it just is. But that's not just slide guitar. That's just guitar. It just is. Let's keep being cool. This song is called Talk to Me. All right. So as I said, I was kind of rearranging things last night. Rearranged my lights in front. I hope those are working all right. I'm gonna have to watch the video back and see how things are looking there. Seems like it's all right. It's a bit better configuration on my actual desk. And I did take one additional, I don't know if you can kind of see this white strip here. So the last song on this album, I'm going to be using that just kind of as a test. We'll see how that looks. I'm not sure how that's going to work out. I just had to kind of find a place to jam it in for a show. I had envisioned that light used to be up in front, and I think that the reconfiguration works without that one being there, hopefully. And when I released Incomprehensible Isolation, I had conceived of having a light in that position just for occasional accents on things, not going to be used very often. And I finally, well, and what happened, should back up, what happened on that show is I had an extra of these round lights, so I put it back there. And then, like, the day of the show, I think it was this light here, one of these on the side died. So I was like, oh, well, let me just switch that one in place. So I no longer had that light. So I've had the configuration set up, the cables were set up for it and everything. So I just finally put a light in there. So on the last song of this album, we should see how that works. I think it'll light up about 8 times in there. I'm not sure if I got the right brightness or anything. We'll find out. Should be good times. What else is a good time? When you dance with the devil at the Devil's Masquerade. It's a known quantity, of course, that we learn as we go along with things, and I feel like I just learned something important on that last song. As you may have noticed, I put my smoke machine back down on the floor, and I've also got these monitors out here. And now the smoke blows right up against the monitor, straight up, and comes right in front of my eyes, and I can hardly see what I'm looking at. So I'm going to make a little adjustment to the direction of this thing. That is not the best setup there. We'll see if that doesn't work a little better. See what happens with that next time I blast some smoke out. I think it should work a little better. I certainly hope so. If not, well then, I guess we just all go down with the ship. Couldn't tell if I had a spider on my head or if it was just sweat. It might have been a spider. I'm not very sweaty. I don't know. These things happen. Miss Susan, tuning in from YouTube. Thanks for being here. Susan says, I was watching your pizza show. Now I am hungry. That was a very good pizza. There's still some up in my fridge. I will be grabbing a slice when I'm done tonight. Came out quite spicy. It was, yeah. I think I mentioned in the show that the last round of pepper jack cheese we bought was kind of extra spicy. And I threw some extra red peppers on there, and oh yeah. Oh, it was a good thing. It was a very good thing. I think we're going to slow it down here a little bit. As a matter of fact, I can just say with absolute certainty and authority that we're going to slow it down here a bit because it's my show and we're going to slow it down a bit. Again, I know that the Mad Poet does weird stuff. It's how I do it, but we're going to slow it down. Everybody grab some water. Take a big old drink and meditate on the meaning of that, because this song is called Molten Ice. Well, nice. Slowing things down. Now we're going to speed them right back on up. Yes, sir, ma'am. This piece is called Epiphanic Moment. Epiphanic moment. We've all had those. The epiphany. Ah, yes, I finally understand what is happening in Seinfeld now that it's been off there for 20 years. That kind of stuff happens to me. That's the kind of airhead I am. Oh, I get it now. Yes. That thing from decades ago. I guess that's what happens when you get old. Which I am. I'm trying to remember. I think we got, how many songs we got on this album? It's always a fine code. We got 10 songs. Okay, we're coming up on number 8. Moving in toward the end of the album. And this is sometimes just what you got to do. Actually, yeah. I forget which show it was. Just recently I was talking about how my song titles really don't have any meanings, with a few exceptions. And the biggest one is a song that has yet to be released. And I've been practicing the vocals for it because I definitely want it to be a song that I sing on. The song is called Standing at an Airport, Waiting on a Train. And the reference is to the fact that when people say they're waiting for inspiration, it really bothers me, because waiting for inspiration is like standing at the airport waiting on a train. I've seen that so many times, people waiting to write their book, write their script, write poetry, learn to draw, learn to paint, learn a language, write a song, record their song, record an album, do a show, learn an instrument, whatever it is, start an exercise, start a diet. All of these things and others. And I've never thought of it this way before, but the title of this song ties right in. Sometimes you just have to take the next step. Feel like I should have something to say here, but I don't really have much to say. So I'm just going to keep on going. The song is called The Seeds of Discord. the test of the new backlight here. We'll see if that even shows up on the image. I wanted to make sure I had some sufficient smoke for what I hope it's going to do. So also test it out. The new angle does work significantly better for the smoke. So moving things in the right direction here. Last song of the album, not the last song of the evening. This is called The Beast Has Arrived. Hey, welcome, buddy. How you doing? Hope you're doing well out there. And also welcome to your friend Gavin. Thank you for stopping by. I hope you enjoy what I do here. Thanks for tuning in. And we also have John Farrell tuning in from YouTube. Says, play your favorite song from when you were a teenager. Unfortunately, the way I am set up here for my shows, it's only for originals. And that's just because everything is basically set up in advance. So all of the recorded other instruments, drums, bass, backup guitars, in some cases, string sections, pianos, harpsichords. Heard a little bit of harpsichord in that last piece. That's all set up in advance, so I don't really have any way to do the quick changes. I do occasionally get some people who make some really good requests, but I'm not set up for that. But what would I point to as my favorite song from a teenager? Was I ever a teenager? I feel like I was born a grown-up. That can't be right. You have to ask my mom about that. Did I come out 6 feet tall? Probably not. Listened to a lot of Metallica as a teenager. I mean, this was, so I was a teenager in the 80s because I'm freaking old. Stopped being a teenager in 91 is when I turned 20. So I listened to a lot of Metallica, a lot of Megadeth. Trying to point to a single favorite song, though, from any time period really is tough. I've always had a very diverse musical interest, so I've always listened to a lot of country, a lot of jazz, quite a bit of rap. Metal has always been kind of the primary thing, but even at that, I listened to a lot of different bands through all of those time periods. So yeah, that's a tough one to pinpoint. Master of Puppets would certainly be a reasonable contender for favorite song as a teenager. And probably not far from being true still to this day. That's just such a great... That whole album is just spectacular. Okay, let's see if I can do this changeover. All right, my voice is still working. That's good. You may lose my vocals for a moment here while I pull my sheet music back up. For anyone who might be a little new out there while I'm pulling this up, I'm the Mad Poet. You are an audience. We are the Mad Poet Society. So we just finished playing up my 64th album, which is titled In This Fashion. And we're moving now to my... which album are we playing here? That's a fine question. If I could find my brain, that would make life a lot easier. Oh, come on, little computer. Work with me here. No, not that. Okay, we're looking for my 61st album is what we're gonna play now. And it is titled Bucket of Blood. Sheet music is starting to open up. You may lose my vocal here. No, are we still in the right? We are not in the right place. These transitions from one album to the next, I have not mastered yet. I'm getting a lot closer with it. I'm getting much better at getting to the right place. I think we're in good shape with this. So yeah, unfortunately, John, thank you very much for stopping by. I will not be able to accommodate that request, but that is a good one. Cliffs of Dover by Eric Johnson is another really strong contender for a favorite song from that era. And that is a song I can play. I wouldn't be able to play it right now. I was actually, probably about 6-7 years ago, I was hired to play that song at a wedding reception. And fortunately, the couple that were hiring me, they were smart. They knew how challenging that song is. And they had contacted, if I recall correctly, they said they talked to like 4 or 5 bands and other musicians, and they were all just like, no, sorry, can't do it. And it's just known as being Eric Johnson is this amazing guitar player. So they finally got in touch with me through a mutual friend, and they said, is this a song you can do? And I said, well, yeah, it is, yes, but it's when is your wedding reception aiming to play this at? Because I'm certainly not going to be able to do it right now. Unfortunately, it was like 18 months away. Like I said, they were smart enough to know what they were actually looking for. So yeah, at that point, I knew the outline of the song. I had learned to play it in the past, but that one, I definitely earned my money on that. I pulled it off well. I kind of set up a really big, just kind of a medley of songs from Pink Floyd, Judas Priest, Guns N' Roses, Metallica, Clapton. It was like 20 minutes of just like this medley of all these kind of classic rock and classic metal tunes. There was some Black Sabbath in there. A whole bunch of stuff. Some David Bowie, a bunch of stuff, and that just kind of culminated in me playing Cliffs of Dover. And I think I played that live only like one or two other times. I've never played it on a stream. I haven't. I wasn't actually at the wedding. It was the reception, but it was good. I mean, there was a lot of people there. I ended up playing basically a full concert at that, and it's nice because I've always said that weddings, of all the gigs I've ever done, weddings are my least favorite. It's usually just with classical guitar, which I love classical guitar, but it's just so boring to play weddings. And I'll admit to a bit of vanity, I like to actually be focused upon when I'm playing a show. And you don't get focused upon when you're playing a wedding at all. It's like you're not even there. In fact, the last wedding I played was for my buddy Kyle. And I'm sitting there with this outdoor thing over on Whidbey Island in Western Washington. And I'm playing, and there's people milling around. It's outdoors. It's nice. It's, summertime. And there's two people walking by, and someone says, "Oh, look, that guy's playing guitar." And the other person's like, "Oh, I thought we were listening to a CD." And I'm just like, this is not why I perform. But yeah, it was playing that was probably the best wedding-oriented show I've ever done, because it was actually stuff I like to do. And these days, if you were to ask me to play a wedding, I would probably just say no. It's just not worth it. Oh, nonetheless, Bucket of Blood, my 61st album. Let's do this. I hope nobody gets upset by me playing in C minor, because I'm going to. Because that's what this song is in. This song is called The Echo, or The Answer. right, the echo or the answer. If anyone's new here, if you're just stopping in, you're coming in a little late, you're not familiar with what we do, I am the Mad Poet. You are an audience. We are the Mad Poet Society. Thank you for being here. Tune in tomorrow, starting at 1 o'clock p.m. Pacific time. I usually don't state time frames for my start time these days because I'm just kind of a little hit and miss on my start times. But tomorrow I'm planning to start at 1 o'clock. We are doing the Murder Metal Show. It'll be my first time playing 3 albums in one show. And that's going to be Murder Terminology, An Innocent Assassin, and The Patron Saint of Murderers. My 48th, 21st, and 55th albums in that order. I've been wanting to do that show for quite a while. I've let all the people know that on every album I dedicate a song to someone. I've let all those people know. Hopefully they'll be able to show up and check it out. Murder Metal tomorrow, 1 Pacific time zone. Adjust for your own time zone as necessary if you are in fact so inclined. Just kind of checking the time here. I know I'm pushing it a little fine on this show. Like I said, I may not be able to do the last couple songs of this album because I do have a student coming up at 7 o'clock. We're about 10 minutes to 6 right now, so we got some time left. We'll be able to play most of the album. But I will have to cut out a little in advance. I don't want to, cut right at 7. I got to switch a few things around for teaching because I do teach right here in this room. And as you can see, I'm kind of in show mode right now. You may have already surmised that from your finely trained skills of observation. Nonetheless, let's play some music. I've always been bothered by the fact there are so many songs and stories and poems stuff called No Rest for the Wicked. What's wrong with the wicked? Why are people so against the wicked getting rest? So finally, in honor of the wicked, this song is called Rest for the Wicked. know if Susan is still watching, but I'm going to talk about her for a moment. She is, in fact, my student who I will be leaving at 7 o'clock for. And she's awesome. She writes a lot of choral music. She's become quite a good composer. She's my longest standing student of all time. I think she's been with me for close to a decade. It was before I met Sarah, and that's almost 9 years, so it's been a while. Nonetheless, the first time she listened to this song, she said, heavy metal James Bond. She put a comment on YouTube. I wasn't sure if that was a reference to the way I was wearing a bow tie at the time. Wasn't sure if it was a reference to the way I was dressed or the way the song sounds, but it's appropriate for both. And the thing about this song, as I was talking earlier, I mentioned that my song titles don't have any meaning. And this song title certainly does not. Nonetheless, sometimes you get a piece like Voices of the Soulless off of Patron Saint of Murderers, or most specifically, After Hours in the Blackwood Mortuary off of City of Souls. Blackwood, that song sounds exactly like the title, in my opinion. This is the polar opposite of that. My name for this is probably my greatest misnamed song. Misnamed song of over 600 songs that I've put out. This song just does not sound at all like the title, and the title does not at all fit it. Nonetheless, the title is set, and this is the song, heavy metal James Bond style. This is The Long Way Home. Sometimes I know which key to play this in. This apparently was not one of those times. Let's try this again. think we got, yes, this song, kind of a, this is one of those songs where I feel like I should say we're slowing it down a bit, but we're really not. It's kind of an upbeat piece. It's, before I go on, got to call in my lighting crew. We have another roguelite. Lighting crew coming in. Boom! Big round of applause for our lighting crew. Thank you, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you, lighting crew. Thank you. Yes, this song, a different change of pace from what we've been having so far on this album. So it feels like a kind of a lower paced piece, but it's really not. It's still kind of pretty upbeat. And this one, I've really found as I've played this a few times live that it's just a really nice piece to kind of get into the zone on my guitar and just kind of lose myself in the map, which is the territory of the fretboard. Very enjoyable for the improvisational guitar solos that I do. And this one has, I would say, a very appropriate title. This is called Limited Visibility. Limited visibility. I'm noticing, I'm just going to do a quick little slightly administrative thing here. I'm noticing that there may be someone watching on LiveSpace. LiveSpace, for those who may not be familiar with, is a beta version of a live stream platform. It looks like it's going to be very cool. If someone is watching on LiveSpace and you happen to hear this, if you could do me a favor and just punch in like 10 different little messages in chat, 10 or 12. I thought I saw something wonky on chat the other day. I would need a bunch of messages to go through for it to retest it. Again, if you happen to be out there, if you happen to hear this, you can just type in a letter or whatever. I just kind of want to see what happens basically when my chat screen fills up, which I don't need a whole bunch of messages for that to happen. I'd like to go beyond capacity if possible. So that's just out there for if there is a potential. It looks like a viewer could be on there, but I'm not certain. Nonetheless, what an excellent segue into this next song. This is called, and actually, now that I realize where we're at, we should talk about this. Because, ladies and gentlemen, we have arrived at the G sharp minor portion of the show. You are welcome. This is called We Have a Situation Here. All right, we're going to slow it way on down here. One of these days, I still do intend to put out an album of songs much like what you're about to hear. This song is called The Rain is Speaking to Me. And I really enjoy this combination where instead of having, I mean, we've had some pretty upbeat, fairly fast-paced pieces going here. This is much slower. We're going to slow it way down. And rather than rhythm guitars, this is mostly populated with piano. And I really like the juxtaposition of piano with electric guitar. It feels really good. So one of these days, I probably will do an entire album, nice slow piece just like this. And really, I mean, the most kind of mild album I ever did was number 28, which is called Solemn Tales of Baleful Beasts. And on that one, it was mostly played with, clean tone electric or with acoustic guitar. Had some electric leads and stuff in a few places. And then also my 53rd album, which I can't remember the title of right now. That is a much slower, kind of an ambient kind of a feel to it. Both very nice albums, very different in how they feel. But I'm probably not too far away from doing a nice calm album again. My last two have definitely been very upbeat. And those that I'm currently working on, numbers 67 and 68 primarily, which are titled Twice Upon a Time and Asemic Writings Part 4. Those are definitely some very upbeat stuff. Album number 69, I've got a lot of plans for, including doing that show in drag, as I've mentioned. And that is definitely going to be a high-paced album. It is just going to be titled Pink, P-I-N-Q-U-E. Can't imagine what I might do for the cover of that. Maybe I'll just make it pink. I know, silly. But after that, who knows? And so there's the piano album, would be a nice calm one. And then I'll also have Tokyo Sunrise and Thief of Time that I'm writing, which would also be very calm albums. But those are contingent upon whether I decide anyone else will ever hear me sing. You will not be hearing me sing on this song, nor on this show here today. I will be hearing myself sing later tonight when I practice my singing, because I do that. Because that's how you get better at stuff. This piece is called The Rain is Speaking to Me. That song's dedicated to my grandma Helen. She's dead. And I am a twisted individual. Okay, so I gotta look at something in my recording program here. Okay, now you should have me back. Ish. Something. Sorry about that. I'm trying to work a couple of things out here. And hopefully I've got this correct now. Oh, I see what happened. I see kind of what happened there. Okay, fiddling with stuff. I think I've got that correct. I hope I got that correct. Let's see what happens here. All right. How are we doing on time? It's okay. We're coming up on 6. It's about 6:25. So we'll be able to, well, let me get back to this. We should be able to get in another song or two here before we cut loose. Had some wonky technical stuff going on there for a moment. It is, as I've pointed out many times, when you're your full own tech crew, the light, sounds, performance, cameras, everything, sometimes gets a little sticky in there. We always seem to work through it. I shouldn't say that. There have been a few shows where it's just like, okay, I guess we're done here. Been a few times the internet has just gone out. Not much we can do about that. That's out of our hands. So that we just end the show. And I've had a few times that I've had other glitches go on, and it's like my sheet music just won't open back up. I'm gonna have to shut the system down, and we'll try it again tomorrow. So these things happen. These are not a big deal. These shows are free. They're worth every penny. So enjoy while you're here. Nonetheless, let's move forward. The song is in C sharp minor. It is called Reintegrating Our Shadows. Oh, now what do I got wrong? Okay. Okay. Kind of still got my eye on that clock there. This next song, so I just kind of want to see what I got left on this album. So this is, I think I got 11 songs on this one. I do. I think I'm going to play the next two and then we're going to call it quits. So this is the second to last song of the show. I think these two will be a reasonable way to close this evening out. Evening, morning, afternoon, day, night, whatever it is, wherever you are. That's how we're going to close it out. This next song is called Directly at the Sun. All right, we're just gonna do one more song here today. Again, thank you very much, everyone, for coming in, wherever you're tuning in from, wherever you are, whatever you do, whenever it is where you are. Thank you very much. I am the Mad Poet. You are an audience. We are the Mad Poet Society. If you enjoyed the show today, if you liked what you saw, you liked what you heard, you liked what you smelled, go to themadpoet.net, repository of all things Mad Poet, soon to be updated by the lovely Miss Sarah, who is currently updating a bunch of other websites, and is going to get to mine whenever it's convenient. Tune in tomorrow, 1 o'clock p.m. Pacific Time Zone, for the Murder Metal Show. We'll be playing Murder Terminology, An Innocent Assassin, and The Patron Saint of Murderers, 3 albums in a row. Should be a good time, at least should be a good time for me. I got one song left for the evening, and now you got to decide what kind of a rebel you are, or if you are the obedient type, because the title of this song is a command. Are you going to do what you're told, or are you going to be a rebel and do your own thing? This song is called Do Not Listen to This Song. All right, every people, that is it for me for the day. Thank you very much for coming in. Again, I am the Mad Poet. You are an audience. We are the Mad Poet Society. Come back tomorrow, 1 o'clock p.m. Pacific Time Zone for the Murder Metal Show. Murder Terminology, an Innocent Assassin, and the Patron Saint of Murderers, live to make you dead. That was cheesy, but I'm a cheesy guy. So I'm out. Again, visit themadpoet.net, repository of all things Mad Poet, because nothing says I got here second like .net. Until then, I will see you